Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the April price prediction for Dogecoin. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And we've been talking a lot about forecasting and looking ahead. There's some big events coming up that's not only going to affect Dogecoin, but it's also going to affect other cryptocurrencies as well. So I'll be covering a little bit of those as well. Also, how it relates back to Doge. A lot of interest in the Dogecoin price right now, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So we'll start by looking at the Dogecoin current chart as I'm recording this on the weekend, and Doge is just around 21 cents. We did have a dip overnight, came right down to 20.6 cents, which is right at the bottom of our new channel, this purple box that we're talking about. And you're like, Chris, what's this purple box for? If you haven't seen my live streams where we've talked about it quite a bit, we come out here to the monthly chart to look at the bigger, broader picture of Dogecoin. And back in 2021, we had 5 months of trading right here between 20.6 and right up to, like, let's call it 28 cent range. In that 5 months, again, this was from a Tom Crown live a couple weeks ago where he was talking about this, that we could see a lot of choppy trading coming ahead. I mean, 5 months is a long time to be doing this sideways trading in this range. There could be a lot of liquidity here that could take Dogecoin quite some time to get through. So that's what this purple box represents for Dogecoin. As we're recording this and looking at the Dogecoin price, Bitcoin is trading right now at $70,000 and Ethereum is about $3,550 as a point of reference. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and let's take a look at what is going on together. And we start with this article, Bitcoin price likely to rally 12% in April. And this is looking at sort of looking back on Bitcoin has traded traditionally in April, and that we have seen, for the most part, the past in Bitcoin has looked at potential rallies, and historical performance in April suggests maybe a 12% rally for Bitcoin. Yeah. April's tendency to yield positive returns, 6 out of the last 10 years, recording notable upticks in the price. But Bitcoin has so much going on for it additionally as well. We do have ETF inflows right here that there seems to be a slowing of the grayscale outflows that we saw most recently. That is probably good as that balance shifts more into the inflows. And we also have the upcoming Bitcoin halving event. And that is happening sometime around April 20th. We're not exactly sure because it's based on blocks, not an actual date on the calendar. And we'll talk about how I think that could affect Dogecoin's price in just a little bit in terms of that. So that's what we have. I mean, if Bitcoin can go up to 75K before halving and maybe do a little dip after, again, that's kind of the range I'm looking at in terms of Bitcoin. We also have this interesting piece on Litecoin and whether Litecoin can get up maybe to $130 in April. And we talk about Litecoin here because Litecoin and Dogecoin are merge mined. Yes, there is merge mining that's going on, and so there's a direct relationship between Dogecoin and Litecoin. We don't often talk about Litecoin so much recently because Litecoin has really lagged in its performance. But in the past couple weeks, Litecoin has actually gone on a run, is up over $100 now per coin. And so this target of 130 doesn't seem too far out of the range. We also have this futures trading that's going to begin on Coinbase on Monday, April 1st. And so we could see some volatility in Litecoin's price along with Bitcoin Cash and Dogecoin because of that as well. But overall with Litecoin, the one thing that they're looking at is because of this renewed interest in Litecoin happening, it's the miners, Litecoin miners. Again, Litecoin, also like Dogecoin, a proof of work cryptocurrency. And that what could happen is post Bitcoin halving, we could see a lot of miners that are presently trying to mine Bitcoin could shift over to Litecoin. Litecoin actually could become more profitable on the mining side than Bitcoin, as well as Dogecoin. Dogecoin miners actually do control a lot of Dogecoin. I mean, 10,000 Dogecoin per block every minute going to miners, that's a big potential thing. And that's for Litecoin mining as well, particularly with the merge mining. It's all linked together. So we could actually see post-Bitcoin halving an uptick in demand on Dogecoin mining as well. We could see hash rate go up there as well. So that's kind of interesting. So how high can Ethereum rise? Now we talk about Ethereum in this. Now Ethereum is not a proof of work cryptocurrency anymore. It is proof of stake, but we do see a lot of news on Ethereum, mostly because of an upcoming potential spot Ethereum ETF, which I think is most likely not going to be approved by the SEC, and we will be seeing news on this, probably, little drabs of news that are going to come out, which are going to be a little negative toward ETH, and that has the possibility of weighing the market down with that. So we will see how that plays forward. We did see this Denkun upgrade in mid-March. That doesn't really have anything to do with ETH itself, but more about the layer 2s and helping things like Arbitrum and Optimism perform well. Ethereum is still going to continue to be bogged down with high gas fees. However, there's still a lot of development on the Ethereum blockchain going on. And because Ethereum is the number 2 cryptocurrency, $400 billion market cap, Ethereum is still going to do well, despite some of the negative news we could see coming forward. So what about this halving and the Bitcoin halving? There are some who are really excited about the rewards to miners on the Bitcoin side being cut in half. That reduces the inflation of Bitcoin by half, and that scarcity of Bitcoin that is becoming more and more clear could lead to an uptick in price. However, typically after a halving event, you could see a dip. And that dip that you could see is directly related to buy the rumor, sell the news. The hype of the halving, probably more eyes on it this cycle than we've seen in the past cycles, because everyone's talking about it, and there's a lot more institutions into Bitcoin, a lot more eyes on Bitcoin. But that's what typically happens. You get all these people talking about Bitcoin's going to go up. It's going to go up to 100K. It's going to go up to 120K, like all this excitement of Bitcoin. And then it doesn't, right? And then it drops down in price instead. And everyone's like, oh, what's going on? And people start selling. So that kind of thing can happen despite spot Bitcoin ETFs, the inflow still coming in, potentially rising the price. We could have the sell pressure after the halving event. And so I think that is most likely going to happen. In my opinion, I would like to be more positive on this, but that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. So let's talk about Dogecoin. So Kaleo's talking about 30 cents in April. And I agree. I am right along with Kaleo here as seeing 30 cents, this next leg up, and how this is going to work. And he's got a really, and this was almost a month ago where Kaleo posted this chart on X. And that was actually right when Doge was down here in the 8 cent range when he initially posted this. This is an updated post here just last week where he's saying, look, I predicted this breakout, and of course me myself, I was talking about this as well because we were buying our last Dogecoin down here at 8.3 cents because I had this wedge down here, if you remember, and this breakout was going to be coming. I'll show that again on my chart. And it did. Actually, the breakout does follow Kaleo's fractal pretty closely. So where will Doge go from here? If you continue the fractal here that Kaleo had, this is trading up to about 30 cents and then falling back into the mid to low 20s. I can see this happening, this same exact pattern happening with Doge. What we're seeing now is Dogecoin maintaining this level. Let me come out here to the 4-hour chart, and we can pull this forward and look ahead for April and what is going to be going on here, because this is what we've seen. Here was this most recent descending wedge that I had, which Dogecoin decided I'm not going to wait till Chris's wedge comes to a point here. I'm just going to break out before then. So we've had that breakout. And Dogecoin rising all the way up over 22 cents, falling back and trying to maintain this support right here at 20.6 cents. That's what it's fighting now. This was the previous wedge that I talked about back in February with the breakout. So that's where we were buying Dogecoin at 8.3 cents. So all of that in the history, where is Dogecoin going to go from here, looking forward into April? And what I see is exactly what Kaleo was talking about. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit, and we're going to see that Dogecoin is going to be able to withstand this sort of sideways trading here in about April 1st, Monday. And we'll be watching this because I'll be live on Monday at 5 o'clock. So do watch me there. I think we're going to see a nice run for Dogecoin coming up over this 22.7, 22.8 mark that we had here the other day with that run. So we're going to come up a little higher, and then eventually I think we're going to see this big run up somewhere in the next week or so. You know, could be something like that happens. And then it could actually be up to the upper range of this purple box that I've been talking about. And then there'll be some profit taking happening. Trying to maintain this up until the Bitcoin halving, which is going to be right around this mark. And then I think we're going to see some fallback in later April. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the April pricing. I'm going to get rid of that line right there because I think that's going to be too soon for that big run. We're going to see, again, I think an initial run on April 1st. Could be some exciting trading there. And then we're going to see a run up to the halving that's going to be following Bitcoin, Litecoin, and other cryptos. And then I think we're going to see a little settling down, a little sell-off, profit taking happening later in the month. So that's kind of my outlook looking forward for Dogecoin trading in April. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? I know some of you are just thinking Dogecoin is going to keep trading up, but that's not how the markets always work. I think we are going to see some settling that's going to happen. Are there going to be some bigger dips than this? Well, if Bitcoin does kind of crash back down into the 60s for some big selling reason or others, then we maybe see Dogecoin come back below 20 cents. But I'm not seeing that right now. No one's predicting that in Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin still being the largest cryptocurrency. The markets are generally going to follow Bitcoin's trading. We know that Doge, though, could go on a bigger run, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.